The manhwa unfolds in the middle of the ocean. We see a huge yacht sinking into the water while a small boy watches from a distance. It's 10:32 in the middle of the night. The boy looks around for his mom and dad but can't find them. He swims through the water trying to locate them, frightened by the thunder rumbling above. Suddenly, he notices his mom floating lifelessly on the surface. He tries to wake her up but quickly realizes that she's already dead, her body riddled with multiple gunshot wounds. Suddenly, a massive wave crashes over him, dragging him underwater. He screams for help and begins to lose consciousness, but as he looks around, he sees that everyone on the yacht is dead, drowning in the water. It's a literal nightmare, watching his loved ones drown, though they were already dead, just like his mother. He looks around in horror and even sees that his father is dead, clearly murdered before the ship began to sink. Out of nowhere, someone pulls him from the water. His grandfather calls his name, Taiha, and asks if he's alright. His grandfather is the chairman of the Cheonju group and is visibly relieved to see Taiha alive. Taiha tells his grandfather that his mom and dad are still in the water, sinking, but his grandfather says that he already knows and tells Taiha to listen to him very carefully. He orders Taiha never to forget his words, no matter what happens. He tells him that Taiha must inherit the Cheonju group and lead it. He gives Taiha a fountain pen and tells him to take it to Attorney Kim, who will help him. He warns him not to trust anyone and to go to Kim as soon as he returns to Korea. Taiha pleads with him to save his mom and dad, insisting they are still in the water. His grandfather then removes his jacket, revealing multiple gunshot wounds, just like his mother's. He fastens his life jacket onto Taiha, telling him that his parents were shot even before the yacht began to sink. Tightening the straps, he orders Taiha to survive at any cost and pushes him away. Taiha watches helplessly as his grandfather sinks beneath the waves. The scene shifts to the next morning. Taiha is still floating in the water, thanks to the life jacket his grandfather gave him. As he opens his eyes, he sees a massive ship in front of him. A glimpse of a beautiful woman is seen watching him from her vessel. Two of her crew members rescue Taiha and bring him aboard. They inform their boss that the boy is still alive. Taiha notices that they're speaking Italian and realizes they're not ordinary sailors. We see another glimpse of their boss standing atop the ship's tower. One man calls out to her while another asks Taiha if he's alright and whether he understands their language. Taiha notices a mark on the man's neck and realizes these people are not normal. The woman then jumps from the tower, landing directly in front of Taiha, unfazed by the height. It's clear she's not just an ordinary person. She asks Taiha how he found their ship. One of her workers tells her that Taiha doesn't speak Spanish. She gets angry and orders someone to fetch a translator. But Taiha finally speaks. He explains that a yacht nearby was attacked and that's how he ended up in the water. She smirks after realizing he speaks Spanish and asks him where he's from. Taiha tells her he's from Korea and explains that armed men attacked their yacht the night before, killing his entire family. She sarcastically asks how he managed to find their ship, and not just any ship, but one belonging to the Salerno family. At first, she mocks him, saying there's no way he stumbled onto their vessel by coincidence. She pulls out a dagger and threatens Taiha, demanding one good reason not to throw him back into the sea. She introduces herself as Regina Salerno, head of trade for the Salerno family. Taiha, terrified, takes out the fountain pen his grandfather gave him. He introduces himself as the grandson of the chairman of the Cheonju group of South Korea. He pleads with them to help him contact his people instead of throwing him away, promising it will benefit them. Regina is shocked to hear Taiha belongs to Korea's most successful conglomerate. She orders her men to check the news, then asks Taiha if he can speak any other languages. Taiha lists them and reveals he can speak 6 languages. Suddenly, her workers confirm Taiha is telling the truth and inform Regina. Taiha recalls his grandfather's final words and tells Regina he needs to contact someone outside of his family. Meanwhile, in South Korea, a mysterious man receives a call. It's Attorney Kim. Regina asks him if he's seen the picture she sent and whether he wants to see Taiha. Kim asks what she wants. She demands $10 million in exchange for the boy and insists on a face-to-face meeting within 24 hours. Surprisingly, Kim is seen partying with girls and friends. Instead of agreeing, he offers $1 million for someone to kill Taiha and send him a video as proof. Regina questions how she can trust him to pay. Kim responds that the money is just 3 taps away. But if they don't kill Taiha, he will frame them for murdering the family on the yacht. After ending the call, Kim contacts another man sitting in the shadows. He tells him that he's already spoken with the mercenaries nearby, because no matter what happens, he is now the leader of Cheonju. Back on the ship, Taiha begins to panic. He knows Kim gave Regina 5 minutes to kill him. She steps in front of him and says her reason for keeping him alive is gone. Taiha begs for his life, but Regina says there's no point. He's no longer the heir of a rich family. She guesses his relatives are already preparing for a family funeral, which means they likely orchestrated the attack. Taiha is shaken by the idea that his uncle and aunt could have killed his family for power. Meanwhile, Regina's crew laughs, saying she never intended to kill Taiha, she's just playing with him. Taiha, however, can't stop thinking. Why would his relatives betray and murder his parents just for control over Cheonju? Were his grandfather and parents really worth killing for that? Suddenly, a man bursts into the room and tells Regina that they're under attack. 3 patrol ships and 1 military helicopter are approaching, and all are armed. Regina asks if it's Interpol, but her worker says they're not responding to communications. Regina is furious at first, but then realizes the Koreans sent forces to kill Taiha. Taiha stabs his own hand with the fountain pen, then draws something on his palm. He proclaims that Cheonju will never reward them, and killing him is pointless with no benefit. He carves the same tattoo seen on one of Regina's men and promises that if she gives him power to take revenge, he will be loyal to them forever. Regina stares at the mark and bursts out laughing. She tells her men to get ready for a show and asks Taiha if he understands the weight of his words, if he's truly ready to seek vengeance, even if it means spilling blood. Taiha remembers his grandfather's dying words. Regina steps outside with her crew and tells Taiha that his life now belongs to the Salerno family, and he must be willing to die for his new family. She stands at the edge of the ship as the military forces approach. Taiha watches in silence. Now, the scene shifts to 17 years later. Taiha stands before the remains of his parents. He asks them to look over him as he carries out their vengeance. Suddenly, something feels off. Multiple cars pull up in front of him and begin firing bullets. But Taiha is no longer the scared boy from the past, he is now an assassin. The men who attacked him were led by a manager named Jang Ji-yu Lee. He criticizes his men for missing their shots. They were after Taiha because he had kidnapped one of their senior directors. One of the attackers finds the car they were looking for, but another man warns him to be cautious as he opens the trunk. Suddenly, a massive explosion occurs, killing several men. Amid the chaos, Taiha slaughters 3 men behind the manager without even turning his head. He swiftly decapitates 3 more. Only Jang Ji-yu Lee remains. He lunges at Taiha, but Taiha dodges and cuts his entire body in half with a single strike. Shocked, the man stares at him in disbelief. Taiha walks over to his car, opens the trunk, and reveals Kim, the same man who betrayed him 17 years ago. Kim begs for his life, insisting he was only following orders. Taiha throws $1 million into the trunk, the same amount Kim had offered to have him killed. Then he drops a lighter into the trunk, setting Kim and the money ablaze. Lighting his cigar with the flames, Taiha solemnly says, "Grandpa, Mom, Dad, I'm sorry I took so long. But please don't worry, find your peace. I will carry all your suffering from this day forward."
Please subscribe and feel free to comment below if you have any questions about the comics.